Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe and leave a like. Let's get into the story now. My wife is cheating on me with her manager. A little bit of backstory. My wife, F36, and I, M33, met about 7 years ago and got together 5 years ago. She was married, but unhappy in her marriage. When we first started having feelings for each other, she told me that she told her husband at the time how unhappy she was, but he didn't seem to care. I know he lied to her a lot as well. I know we should have put our feelings aside since she was still married, but we didn't, and I regret it. We should have at least waited till her and her husband got a divorce. We didn't. It was stupid. Anyway, he finds out about us and divorces her almost immediately. We keep dating and she ends up moving in with me, and we were really happy together. She promised that she would never cheat on me, like how our relationship started. Fast forward to August 2015, we get married and everything is great. We decide that we want a family, and so we started trying for a baby. She finally ended up pregnant and we are ecstatic, until she miscarried a couple of months later. We take some time off from trying for a baby for a while. Eventually, we start trying again and she gets pregnant again. She carried the baby for 8 months. These 8 months were really hard on her. She felt horrible throughout the pregnancy and ended up getting preeclampsia. So the DR put her on bed rest at 7 months. We kept going to the DR, and the DR decided that the baby needed to come out. The DR told us the date that she would like to perform the operation. My daughter is going to share my birthday. I'm so excited because who could wish for a better birthday present? They performed the C-section, and she also wants to get her tubes tied so she doesn't have to take the risk again. My daughter is beautiful. Looks like my wife, but I can also see a lot of me in her. Fast forward to this year, we had our struggles and scares, but we pull through together. I have a good job that pays well, and I also do a little work for a friend doing manual labor. It sucks, but we could use the money. My wife ends up nannying for her best friend for about 6 months, trying to make some extra money. Her friend's kid and my daughter are about the same age, so it works. Not much money, but she enjoyed it. Her friend's kid has medical problems, and so at about 6 months, her friend tells my wife that they are going to send him to a daycare with therapists on site. It sucks and my wife is sad, but we can pull through. She gets depressed for a little while, and I try to cheer her up, but it seemed nothing I did could make her smile. Money starts to get tight, so we start looking at our options. I already work a full-time day job with some work here and there in the evenings, or a few hours on the weekend. We decide that she's going to try to get a part-time job at night so we could still see each other quite a bit and we would be better off financially. She applies to several places that are open in the evenings/night. Most of these places are restaurants/fast food/retail. She gets a job pretty quickly as a delivery driver for a fast food restaurant. She started there in early June of this year. Things are going well until she had a scare on one of her deliveries. Someone ripped her earring out of her ear. She goes back to the store and tells her manager about it. He goes up to the police department with her to make a police report. I would have, but she didn't tell me about it until the next day because she was afraid I'd be mad and make her quit. I was upset and worried, but was glad her manager was able to help out. Seemed like a good guy, or so I thought. From here, my wife will be W and manager will be M. M tells her that he will start training her to be a shift lead so she can be in the store more if she wanted. W told me about it and I was a little more at ease. So she starts her training, like 2 weeks after she is hired. They are short-handed at the store, so I didn't think much of it. High turnaround in fast food and such. So she starts her training and she starts closing with M so he can train her. She starts coming home later and later. The restaurant closes at 10 on weeknights and 11 on weekends. She was regularly getting home anytime between 2 to 4 a.m. every time she closed. She says it's because they are busy and don't get to do closing duties early, and she's being trained. Red flag 1. I've worked in restaurants and I know how important labor is for them. I gave her the benefit of the doubt and asked her to at least let me know if she's going to be super late. She agrees and does for a few days. I don't know how many times I woke up at 4 a.m. freaking out wondering where she was. I'd send her a text and she would respond and be home normally within 30 minutes. Then she starts being secretive with her phone and stuff at this time as well. Red flag 2. I have never looked through her phone or anything in the past because I trust her. At the beginning of August, it gets to me and I look on her iPad and see a lot of messages between her and M that weren't work-related, nothing scandalous, just not work-related. I ask her about them and she accuses me of snooping and says there's nothing going on. I told her that we are married and shouldn't have any secrets from each other and asked her if she has something to hide. She denies vehemently that she's hiding anything and there's nothing going on between her and M. She tells me that M is happily married with 2 kids. We argue about it for a while, but I love her, so I believe her. She promised she'd never cheat on me after all, right? The next week, W and my daughter go spend the week with her parents down in Texas. I go down the next weekend and spend that weekend with them and bring them home. Everything seems to be going good again. We were cuddling, we even made love 3 times in a few days. We don't get a chance very often, so yay. Our anniversary comes around, 3 years. She ends up having to work that night, but is supposed to get off early at 8. She doesn't get home until around 10. I didn't think much of it because I know, sometimes you don't also get out when you're scheduled to. Irrelevant, but we rescheduled our anniversary dinner at Olive Garden for this past Sunday, August 26th. Everything is going great. That is until Saturday night. I kissed her goodbye and she went to work around 4:30. I sent her some texts and pictures of our daughter. She normally responds pretty quickly. All of my messages were being sent as text messages. We have iPhones, so they should have sent as iMessages. We also have ADT Go and she shares her location with me because, no secrets. About 9 p.m., I started wondering where she was and why she hasn't responded to any of my messages, so I looked at her location. Her location couldn't be found since 4:36 p.m. Find My iPhone was showing that her phone was offline. She never shuts off her phone and has chargers everywhere. I started to get a little worried. About 9:25, I called the restaurant to see if she was still there. A coworker of hers answered. I asked if W was there and he said, no, she left an hour or 2 ago. We live like 10 minutes from the restaurant. I start freaking out even more. I go back to her iPad to find the number of her manager to see if he knew where she was, since they were both supposed to get off at the same time. That's when I see the text messages. W and M have been texting for the past 2 weeks, telling each other how much they love each other and miss each other. There were heart emojis and kissy face emojis, and they told each other that they love each other with all of their hearts and souls, and that they are each other's dream come true. I took pictures of all of the texts to read through later. I still needed to figure out where my wife was. As I took the last picture, I heard the garage door open. W was home. The feelings were fresh, so I confronted her. No hello, nothing. Me, I know about the texts between you and M. W, what texts? Me, the ones that say how much you love each other with all of the love emojis, and saying how much you miss each other. W, I don't know what text you're taking about. So I pulled them up on my phone and started reading them to her. She told me to stop as the realization of what was happening set in. W, stop. I keep reading. W. Stop. Delete those, please. Me. Why would I do that? She tells me that she made a dumb mistake and let her feelings get away from her. That she is going to end it and it'll never happen again. She may have said that she was sorry, but I honestly don't remember. A lot of it is a blur. Me. Do you love him? W. Not as much as I love you. WTF, wrong answer. Me. Have you ever done anything physical with him? W. No. Me. So you never kissed him or anything? W. No, we just talked. Me. So, you love him with all of your heart and soul forever and ever and have never even kissed him? It was completely professional and platonic at work? I don't know how you expect me to believe this. W. It's true. I know I'm naive, but I don't believe that. Me. You've only known him for 2 months. I asked you 3 weeks ago if anything was going on between you and M, and you told me that there wasn't. I believed you and dropped it. Then you spent the next week at your parents'. You come back from Texas and all of a sudden you and M are telling each other how much you love each other in texts. You want me to believe that in 2 weeks, you went from no feelings to saying that you love each other? W. I was dumb and let my feelings go too far. Me. What would M's wife say if I were to show her these? W. It wouldn't matter because they are getting a divorce. Me. You told me that he was happily married 3 weeks ago. How could you do this to me? You promised you would never cheat on me. What did I do to deserve this? W. You didn't do anything. I just let my feelings go too far. Me. So why? Why did you do this? I need to know why. She never could tell me why or what I did to make her seems affection from another man. I tell her that I want her to quit her job and find another place to work. She says she doesn't want to because she's been training to become a shift lead and is almost done and will be promoted soon. So she wants me to be okay with her working with M and seeing him every day. This whole thing got away from me, and I made this a lot longer than I meant to. If you're still here, thanks. A lot more was said, but I can't remember it all right now. If you have questions, I'll try and answer them to the best of my memory. I love my wife and would love for my daughter to grow up in a loving home with both of her parents. I just don't really know what to do or how to feel. I love my wife, but don't like her and can't trust her now. TLDR, my wife of 3 years cheated on me with her manager that she's known for 2 months. I have no proof that it went farther than feelings. All I know is they were telling each other how much they love each other. I want my wife to quit her job and find another one if she wants to try to work this out. She doesn't want to because she's worked so hard to get the promotion to shift lead. Thank you for watching.